Hello, my friends, Dr. Mandell here. If you want sharper eyesight, stronger memory, faster brain function, and slower aging, there are 4 unique dry fruits that work while you sleep. These foods fuel your retina, repair oxidative damage, and feed your neurons so your brain stays calm, focused, and sharp. Most people go to sleep every night never realizing that their brain is silently begging for one simple nutrient it almost never receives. A nutrient that could repair damaged neural pathways, sharpen fading memory, and restore the clarity they thought age had stolen from them. And what's shocking is that this nutrient doesn't come from a pill, a supplement, or a medication. It comes from a food shaped exactly like the human brain itself, the walnut. For thousands of years, ancient civilizations believed that walnuts were nature's signal food, designed to heal the organ they resemble. Today, modern neuroscience is finally catching up, proving that walnuts are one of the most powerful nighttime brain-repairing foods ever studied. And the moment you fall asleep, this small nourishment begins working like a silent engineer inside your head. Inside every walnut are omega-3 fatty acids, so rare and concentrated that neuroscientists refer to them as the raw materials of memory. These omega-3s rebuild the protective coating around your brain cells, called the myelin sheath, which slowly deteriorates with stress, aging, and everyday inflammation. When this coating weakens, the brain's electrical signals misfire. Memory falters, concentration slips, information seems harder to recall. But when omega-3s flood the brain, especially during deep sleep, your neurons strengthen, reconnect, and fire with a speed and accuracy most people haven't felt since their youth. You don't just sleep, you rebuild. Walnuts also contain a surprising molecule that almost no one realizes affects the brain more at night than during the day: melatonin. Most people associate melatonin with sleep alone, but melatonin is also one of the brain's most powerful antioxidants, capable of crossing the blood-brain barrier and neutralizing the toxins that accumulate during hours of stress, screen exposure, and mental overload. When melatonin from walnuts reaches the brain at night, it doesn't just help you sleep, it cleans the debris that slows your thinking, fogs your memory, and weakens your emotional balance. Researchers call this overnight process neural cleansing, and without it, the brain begins aging at an accelerated pace. But the real shock is this: studies show that people who eat walnuts regularly have significantly larger and healthier hippocampal volumes, the very region of the brain responsible for memory formation. That means stronger recall, faster learning, and less age-related decline. In fact, a major study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that adults who consumed walnuts had dramatically better cognitive performance compared to those who didn't. Not slightly better, dramatically better, and it all happened without medication, without therapy, without anything artificial, just a handful of walnuts working quietly during the night. As you sleep, your brain goes through a process known as memory consolidation. Everything you learned, saw, heard, and experienced throughout the day gets sifted, sorted, and stored. But this process requires healthy synapses, the tiny communication points where brain cells exchange signals. Stress, poor diet, and lack of rest weaken these synapses, turning mental snapshots into blurry fragments. But the polyphenols inside walnuts act like reinforcement beams, protecting these fragile connections when they're most vulnerable. Without you realizing it, the brain becomes sharper, faster, more resilient. You wake up remembering more, noticing more, thinking clearer, because while you slept, your brain was being rebuilt from the inside out. There is another secret inside walnuts that scientists are uncovering. They are one of the richest plant sources of DHA, a type of omega-3 that directly influences vision and the retina. This matters because the retina is actually an extension of your brain, technically brain tissue pushed into the eye. Every night while you sleep, your retina repairs microscopic damage caused by light exposure and oxidative stress. Walnuts provide the fuel for this repair. This is why people who include walnuts in their evening routine often report brighter morning vision, reduced strain, and sharper focus. The repair isn't magic, it's biology. And yet the most astonishing discovery of all is that walnuts don't just help the brain, they help the gut. And through the gut, they influence your mood, your hormones, and your emotional stability. The fiber and polyphenols in walnuts feed beneficial gut bacteria, which then produce neurotransmitters like serotonin and GABA. These neurotransmitters travel through the gut-brain axis and help regulate stress levels at night, making sleep deeper and more restorative. So when people say walnuts calm their mind or help them wake up with lighter thoughts, it's not imagination, it's chemistry. Despite all this powerful science, most people still make one mistake. They eat walnuts at the wrong time. They consume them randomly during the day, mixing them with meals that blunt their absorption. But the brain doesn't need fuel during the busy hours of stress and activity. It needs fuel at night when it is repairing itself. That's why nutritionists and brain researchers agree that eating walnuts in the evening has a far greater impact on memory, sleep quality, and eye health than eating them at any other time. A simple handful, just 4 to 5 soaked walnuts, delivers enough omega-3s and antioxidants to activate the brain's nighttime repair cycle. Soaked walnuts digest more easily, release nutrients faster, and reduce phytic acid, which can otherwise block absorption. When you consume them 1 hour before sleep, your brain enters the night fully supplied with the exact compounds needed for healing. And then the magic begins. As your body drifts into deep sleep, blood flow to the brain increases. This is when omega-3s from walnuts begin strengthening neural pathways. This is when melatonin from walnuts scavenges free radicals that would have damaged your cognitive performance. This is when polyphenols fortify delicate synapses. This is when DHA supports retinal repair so your eyes feel clearer in the morning. And this is when your hippocampus, the memory center, begins reorganizing your thoughts with greater efficiency, all from a food most people overlook as a simple snack. Think about this. The brain is only 2% of your body's weight, yet it consumes more than 20% of the energy you have. But at night, it consumes even more. It works harder in your sleep than when you're awake. It cleans, repairs, organizes, and restores. And walnuts provide the exact biological ingredients it needs for this process to happen correctly. Every night without these nutrients is a missed opportunity for repair, a missed opportunity for clarity, a missed opportunity for sharper memory, better vision, calmer sleep, and healthier aging. But every night with them is a quiet investment in your brain's future. It's small, it's simple, it's powerful, and it works while you're doing nothing but closing your eyes. Just 4 to 5 walnuts. 1 hour before sleep, let the brain do the rest. Most people don't realize that the biggest threat to their vision and memory doesn't come from age. It comes from the silent, daily damage happening inside their cells every time they stare at a screen, step into sunlight, or live through another stressful day. But hidden inside one of the simplest foods on earth is a nutrient so powerful that scientists call it the guardian of the brain and eyes. And that nutrient is vitamin E, found in remarkable concentrations in a small, unassuming dry fruit, the almond. When you eat almonds at night, something extraordinary happens inside your body, something most people never experience because they never give their brain and eyes what they truly need to repair themselves. As the world shuts down and you drift into sleep, your photoreceptor cells, the cells in your eyes responsible for capturing every color, shape, and image, begin a nightly struggle for survival. These cells are attacked by free radicals generated from screens, UV light, pollution, and even the natural stress chemicals your body produced throughout the day. If these cells die, your vision fades. If they weaken, your world becomes blurry. But vitamin E from almonds enters the bloodstream like a shield, moving directly toward the retina to defend these cells from destruction. Researchers have found that vitamin E is one of the only antioxidants capable of protecting the delicate fats inside the retina from oxidation. Without this protection, vision declines. With it, the eyes stay sharp, clear, and youthful. But almonds don't stop at the eyes. They influence the brain in ways far more profound than most people realize. Inside every almond is a combination of vitamin E, riboflavin, and L-carnitine, 3 nutrients that fuel the brain's ability to remember, focus, and process information. When these nutrients reach the hippocampus, the brain's memory center, something remarkable occurs. They increase acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter responsible for learning and memory. This isn't an opinion, it's hard science. Low acetylcholine leads to forgetfulness, slow thinking, and mental fatigue. High acetylcholine keeps your mind sharp, responsive, and able to store memories with crystal clarity. Almonds feed this chemical directly. Modern research shows that people with higher vitamin E intake have significantly less age-related cognitive decline, not slightly less, significantly less. One major study followed nearly 3,000 adults for years and discovered that vitamin E didn't just slow down brain aging, it protected memory itself. That means the simple act of eating almonds before bed can literally change how your brain ages, how fast it processes information, and how resilient it becomes to daily stress. But the story goes deeper. When almonds enter the digestive system, their healthy fats release slowly throughout the night, stabilizing blood sugar during sleep. Most people don't know this, but unstable blood sugar interrupts deep sleep cycles, damaging the brain's ability to process information and store long-term memories. A single blood sugar crash at night can disrupt the entire healing process your brain depends on. Almonds prevent that crash. They create a steady flow of energy so the brain can carry out its nighttime repair cycle without interruption. Better sleep doesn't just feel good, it translates into sharper memory, better attention, and improved cognitive performance. Meanwhile, vitamin E travels through your bloodstream to neutralize inflammation inside your neural tissue. Inflammation is one of the leading causes of brain fog, slow mental processing, and neurodegeneration. When inflammation rises, neurons struggle to communicate. Thoughts become slower, memory becomes weaker, focus becomes harder. But the antioxidants in almonds, especially vitamin E, silence this inflammation with surgical precision. Neuroscientists have found that vitamin E protects neurons from oxidative stress so effectively that it can delay cognitive decline by years. And then there's the part almost no one knows. Almonds trigger the release of dopamine and serotonin at night. These neurotransmitters elevate mood, enhance emotional stability, and create a sense of calm that makes deep sleep easier to achieve. Deep sleep is where the brain performs its most important tasks, organizing memories, repairing tissue, and strengthening neural pathways. When people say almonds help them wake up calmer, more energized, or more mentally clear, it is not psychological, it is biochemical. But here's the shocking truth. Most people eat almonds incorrectly. They grab them straight from the packet, dry and unsoaked, not realizing that the skin contains enzyme inhibitors that block nutrient absorption, so the body struggles to extract the full power of vitamin E, healthy fats, and brain-nourishing compounds. When you soak almonds overnight, the inhibitors dissolve. The nut becomes alive. Nutrients become available. Digestion becomes easier, and absorption skyrockets. The body receives every drop of this powerful food without waste. When you eat 6 to 8 soaked almonds at night, the nutrients enter your bloodstream at the perfect time, right when your brain and eyes begin repairing themselves. During the first 3 hours of sleep, blood flow to the brain increases. This is when vitamin E enters neural tissue. This is when riboflavin boosts energy production inside neurons. This is when L-carnitine supports the mitochondria, the energy factories inside every brain cell. And during the last phase of sleep, when the brain cleanses itself of toxins through the glymphatic system, antioxidants from almonds intensify this cleansing process, removing the waste that causes morning grogginess, confusion, or sluggish thinking. Almonds also strengthen the optic nerves through improved nutrient delivery. The optic nerve is like a highway connecting your eyes to your brain. If this highway weakens, signals slow down, colors look dull, vision becomes strained. But the healthy fats in almonds protect this nerve from degeneration, supporting faster communication between the eyes and brain. This is why people who consistently eat almonds at night often report waking up with brighter, more refreshed vision. Every single night is either a chance for your brain and eyes to heal or a chance for them to worsen. And the difference often comes down to whether you give your body the nutrients it needs before you sleep. Almonds are one of the few foods that directly influence both visual and cognitive repair at the same time. They are small, simple, inexpensive, and available to everyone. Yet their effect on the human body is nothing short of profound. If you skip them, your body goes into nighttime repair, undernourished, unprotected, and unprepared. But if you feed your system these nutrients, you unlock a level of clarity, memory strength, emotional stability, and visual sharpness that most people rarely experience beyond childhood. It's not magic. It's biology working the way it was always meant to work. Just 6 to 8 almonds. soaked, taken before sleep. A nightly ritual that could add years of clarity to your life, sharpen your vision, and protect the organ that defines who you are, your brain. Most people never imagine that something as small as a pistachio could influence their eyesight, their sleep, and their brain all at once. But inside this tiny green seed lies a combination of nutrients so rare, so uniquely designed for the human body, that scientists now consider pistachios one of nature's most advanced protective foods for the eyes and nervous system. What makes pistachios extraordinary is not just what they contain, but when they work. Because the real magic happens when your eyes close, your breathing slows, and your brain enters the deep healing cycles of sleep. That's when the pigments inside pistachios begin their quiet, powerful transformation. The human eye is constantly under attack. Blue light from screens, UV radiation from the sun, oxidative stress from pollution. Every hour of every day, your retina absorbs damage that accumulates for years. The macula, the center of your vision responsible for color, detail, reading, and facial recognition, is especially sensitive. And without protection, it begins to weaken long before you feel it happening. But pistachios contain two pigments your body cannot produce on its own: lutein and zeaxanthin. These pigments are the only known dietary nutrients that travel directly to the macula, embed themselves in retinal tissue, and act as natural filters against the light that destroys your vision over time. When scientists measure these pigments, they call it macular pigment density. And people with higher macular pigment density have significantly better visual sharpness, contrast sensitivity, and night vision. They are also far less likely to develop age-related macular degeneration. Pistachios are one of the richest natural sources of these pigments. When you eat pistachios in the evening, your bloodstream carries lutein and zeaxanthin into the retina at the perfect moment, when your eyes finally rest and your cells begin repairing the damage of the day. What you see clearer tomorrow depends on what you feed your body tonight. But pistachios do something deeply connected to the brain as well. They don't just protect the retina, they influence your mood, your nervous system, and your sleep cycle. Inside pistachios is a powerful amino acid that many people have low levels of without even realizing it, GABA. This neurotransmitter is responsible for calming the brain, reducing anxiety, and helping you enter deep restorative sleep. Most people struggle with sleep not because they are tired, but because their brain cannot slow down. GABA is the switch that tells the mind to relax, and pistachios are one of the only dry fruits naturally rich in GABA-producing compounds. When these compounds reach the brain, they activate pathways that quiet excessive electrical activity. Thoughts slow, muscles relax, the mind transitions out of stress mode and into healing mode. Researchers have found that people with healthy GABA levels fall asleep faster, experience fewer night awakenings, and wake up with greater mental clarity. Pistachios help trigger this shift in chemistry naturally, without pills, without artificial supplements, without dependency. And there's something even more shocking. Pistachios contain more melatonin than almost any other nut ever tested. Melatonin doesn't just make you sleepy, it repairs DNA, protects neurons, and enhances the brain's overnight detoxification process. When melatonin enters the brain during sleep, it activates the glymphatic system, a cleansing pathway that washes away toxins, heavy metals, and waste proteins that accumulate during the day. Some of these waste proteins, like beta amyloid, have been linked to cognitive decline when they build up. Pistachios help prevent that buildup, allowing the brain to wake up refreshed and resilient. But the story doesn't end with brain chemistry. Pistachios also influence the body through their powerful antioxidants, especially anthocyanins and polyphenols. These compounds travel through the bloodstream hunting down inflammation, tiny sparks of damage that can weaken blood vessels, slow neural communication, and cloud mental focus. When inflammation strikes the optic nerve, vision weakens. When it strikes the hippocampus, memory fades. When it strikes the prefrontal cortex, decision-making slows. Pistachios saturate these areas with antioxidants that extinguish inflammation before it can cause harm. What researchers discovered next surprised even them. Pistachios improve endothelial function, the ability of blood vessels to widen and deliver oxygen efficiently. Why does this matter for your eyes and brain? Because both organs depend on constant, uninterrupted oxygen flow. If your blood vessels stiffen, oxygen delivery decreases. When oxygen delivery decreases, your eyesight dims, your memory dulls, and your cognitive speed drops. But the arginine in pistachios boosts nitric oxide production, which opens blood vessels and restores smooth, powerful circulation, especially during sleep when the body is most effective at self-repair. Every night, your eyes and brain compete for oxygen, nutrients, and antioxidant protection. Pistachios give them the tools they need to win that battle. Even the healthy fats inside pistachios serve a purpose. They stabilize blood sugar at night. Blood sugar crashes, something many people experience without knowing it, can interrupt sleep cycles and impair memory consolidation. By providing slow-release fats and proteins, pistachios prevent these crashes, allowing the brain to complete its deep sleep tasks without disruption. But here's the truth that most people never hear. The timing of pistachio consumption is everything. Eating them randomly throughout the day still helps, but eating them at night unlocks their full biological potential. That's because the body's repair systems, antioxidant pathways, and detoxification cycles are far more active after sunset. When pistachios are consumed in the evening, the GABA-producing amino acids calm the nervous system. The melatonin enters the bloodstream at the perfect biological window, and the lutein and zeaxanthin begin traveling toward the resting retina. All this from a small handful, just 10 to 12 pistachios. That's all it takes to support the pigmentation of your macula, to strengthen your night vision, to calm your mind, to cleanse your brain, and to deepen your sleep cycles. This tiny food performs more functions in one night than many supplements do in a month. Every night you skip them, your body goes into sleep without its natural defenders. But every night you include them, you strengthen the organs that allow you to see the world, understand it, remember it, and wake up ready to face it again. Pistachios are nature's silent healers. Their power unfolds when the world is quiet and your body turns inward. A handful before bed. A lifetime of sharper vision, calmer nights, and a stronger, clearer mind. Your eyes and brain are connected. What you feed your brain before sleep determines how fast you repair, heal, and grow. Make these 4 dry fruits a habit. Stay consistent. Take care of your amazing body. The results will follow. This is Dr. Mandell, wishing you great health. Many blessings to you and your loved ones.